Dirty truck. Dirty truck. Dirty. Bad truck. Bad.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about recovery time. And I just had an interesting comment made on the YouTube channel just a couple days ago, and this one guy said he's a beginner, and he's asking, when you get stronger, do you need more recovery time because you're lifting more weight? That's it for those. You don't want to get too big, right? If you get too big, you guys get scared off. So, you know, even though I'm a giant, I want to have friends still, you know? Kind of like a Beauty and the Beast thing, but I'm like the Beauty and the Beast at the same time. It's kind of strange, but yeah. Beauty and the Beast, yeah, that's right.
Can we trademark that?
Yeah. Now the thing is, the answer to this is yes and no. And I'm just going to talk purely from my own experience. It doesn't mean that it's backed up by any study or anything, but these are just discoveries that I found with myself, and also with talking to my brother, and also with meeting other bodybuilders of similar levels, and what they found with their training when it comes down to lifting more weight. Now, the funny thing is, in the beginning of your training, you notice that you're pretty darn sore. I mean, because you're out of shape, and doing anything foreign to the body or new causes quite a significant challenge because it's not ready for it. So you notice that sometimes when you're first starting working out, I mean, sometimes it takes you a day or to a week to recover. You know, it just depends if you're used to the exercise or not, or used to that type of stimulus. You can actually say sometimes lifting lightweight when you're a beginner is more challenging to recover from than when you're lifting heavyweight when you're an advanced bodybuilder or weightlifter of any sort, right? So on that note, what I will say is this. I noticed that my recovery time did not go down. I would lift perpetually heavier weights, but it still would be about 2 to 3 days by the time I would recover from that workout. It wasn't necessarily changing. My recovery time wasn't changing. But on that note though, because I was stronger, I could not lift in the 5 or 6 rep ranges as often when it comes down to going to failure. So say I busted out a set and I strained my ass off for that 5th rep and just barely got that 5th rep up. That was what my 5 rep set looked like. I couldn't do those type of sets as often with that type of weight.
That's a Jason Gallant special.
You're stealing my techniques?
That's right. Free on YouTube. Hashtag Jason Gallant, natural bodybuilding.
So in essence, yeah, maybe my recovery time did go down because I was lifting heavier weight, but not necessarily. Basically, I had to change the way I lifted to do more higher rep days instead of just staying to low reps all the time. Now, as I got stronger in the early stages of my training, I noticed that doing the 5 rep training, 6 rep training all the time, it actually started to injure me, started to cause more problems than anything. And it doesn't seem as if strength was as much of a factor as it was relative strain. You know, everything's relative, right? Like, how hard are you working for you? How much strain are you putting out for you? And if that was 100% of your effort capacity with a certain rep range, that seemed to have a similar effect no matter how big or strong I got or no matter how weak I was. I think I'll do one more set. That's it. I'll be good now. 8 sets will be enough, I think. I did bent over rows at 315 yesterday, so that's part of it, right? You gotta take all these factors into account. You can't just, you know, randomly just do stuff because it's on paper. Too many people just follow a template blindly and don't listen to their body at the same time, so sometimes you gotta take these different variables into account, right? Now, again, this is all going to change if you've already had gains in the past and your body already knew what it was like to have muscle, and you had some sort of sedentary type muscle going on, right? You know, a guy that's been training 10 or 20 years really seriously, then he sits down for 5 years, then comes back to training. You notice it's like he just gets his gains really fast. They just come back really fast. The muscles pump up really quick. It's a much different thing than, say, somebody hitting the weights for the first time in their life and then slowly building that foundation of muscle and strength. So do I think there's more of a burden on the nervous system and organ systems? Yeah, that's possible. There can be a possible burden of nervous system and organ systems because they're trying to catch up to feed larger amounts of muscle tissue, and it's not like the organ systems are getting bigger. It's not like the organs actually get bigger. Like the kidneys don't become better at doing what they do just because you have more muscle. But I do feel that there may be a small adaptation that does have whenever you push the organs as well. I mean, it does make sense that the human body was made to adapt. It does adapt in general in a lot of different forms, but there are just limitations depending on which system that you're dealing with. So on that note, I would say, yeah, it is possible that you might need a little bit more recovery time as you get stronger, but I think that some people blow it out of proportion. Like some guys that do the HIIT method and stuff, they'll say, well, because I'm lifting more weight, I only need to train once every 3 weeks or something like that, and that's just absolute BS. So I've never found that to be true, and trust me, I've tried. Because a lot of you guys are like, hey Jason, you know, why didn't you keep your gains, your massive gains when you're competing? What happened? Well, I actually did keep a lot of my gains, but what I did was I concentrated on hockey for a period of time.
I used to do this back in grade 7. It's called bush surfing. Okay? Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay, here we go.
And then I also started to back off on my training. I still did intense workouts, but then I went down to 3 days a week working out, or 4 days, and I didn't pay attention to my diet as much. So I noticed what happened with my body then. Now, according to some of the people on the internet, they're saying, oh yeah, just train less and you're gonna get more gains from it. Well, no, that didn't happen with me. I actually lost gains when I trained less. So what you see me doing now is a culmination of what I found I have to do in order to get my physique to the elite level. It's not like I can just sit on my butt and train once a week or something, because now I have this massive amount of strength that I could just afford to train once a week or something and then let my body recover and just grow on its own. That's actually a fallacy. It's a big urban myth, really. And I think it's something perpetuated by the guys that are not natural, because the hormones are doing the majority of the work for their body in those cases, right? They just create a certain hormonal system based on what they're doing with their intake of pharmaceuticals. And then that's causing some sort of adaptive response in the body, but it isn't the training itself. So as a natural bodybuilder, you're totally dependent on your training, your diet, your sleep, and your lifestyle choices to cause you to gain muscle, to basically cause your body or force your body into an adaptive mode to get bigger and stronger. So yeah, I hope this answers your question. I hope it helps you out with your training. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com and take care for now. Oh yeah, and share my stuff. You okay? All right. Go for a walk. Any Sasquatches out here? Am I safe? Am I safe out here? Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm going to be very successful with the Sasquatch hunting thing, because they're not responding to my calls at all. He knows I'm an ass kicker. That's the only logical explanation. Sasquatch knows I'm an ass kicker, that's why he won't show up.